Hi, welcome to Oral Comm 101. My name is Jenny Ty, and I'll be your instructor this semester. I put up a couple pictures of my family and actually me looking happy doing something I enjoy. In the picture of my family with my children, we actually went paintballing over winter break. And I picked this because one thing that you'd probably like to know about me is that I enjoy having fun. I enjoy being outside, and I love doing things that are a little bit different, which actually you'll find out how this oral comm course is a little bit different. The other picture is myself with my spouse, Peter. We were on vacation. We look really happy. And I think as summer comes around, makes me think about times of enjoyment as well. So even though we're in a summer class together, which I hope is enjoyable, I'm also looking forward to getting outside as well. So, in terms of a little bit about my background, I've been at Xavier for over 20 years, and I'm originally from Cincinnati. So, I've lived here most of my life. I've been a Xavier faculty member and in the communication arts department, and I've got a couple pictures here of myself with my colleagues. I'm the older person in the group in both pictures. But one thing that I have found is that I love working with colleagues. We have majors in advertising and public relations and digital media, as well as comm studies. So as I've watched the discipline change over time, I have found that more and more collaborating with other colleagues in the department is something that I enjoy. Even though I primarily teach in the comm studies major, and oral comm, presentational speaking, interpersonal conflict management, and organizational communication are a few of the courses that I teach. I'm also an avid community gardener. One of the projects that I started maybe 5 years ago was a large community garden here in Cincinnati. And in this garden, we work primarily with families that are interested in growing food, not only for themselves, but for others. We donate about 1,000 pounds of food a year, which is really rewarding. And in addition to that, about 40 of the 75 families are refugees, mostly from Bhutan, that are growing food as their primary food source. I've learned so much about working in groups and communicating across different cultures and languages. And probably one of the most rewarding things also is bringing fresh food to the table. So let me tell you a little bit about how this learning experience may be different than your own and what you've had maybe in the past. I highly focus on what we call community engaged learning. So part of it is those real world connections, giving you voice in how you learn. I provide options that are for visual learners or auditory learners as well as tactile learners. We do engage in higher order thinking. So you're expected to read the material, work on becoming proficient, and then apply what it is that you've learned. I think you'll find that while you'll need to be an active learner in the course, that through this experience, what you learn becomes part of your body of knowledge that you're then able to put into practice. One thing also that you're going to find is that if you're kind of thinking in your mind of public speaking as standing in front of a group of people giving speeches, then you're not too far off from basic oral communication principles, such as the ones that Aristotle purported years ago. That still holds true. We'll be working with the traditional kind of ways of learning how to communicate orally, but we have changed in some ways regarding the types of channels that are available. So now that we are engaging in working with audiences via internet sources, you'll find that using channels such as Audacity as a way to communicate via podcast, or YouTube, where we'll give a demonstration speech in the form of a how-to video, really allows you to take what you know and what you've learned and use that in digitally native platforms that are a little bit different than just speaking in front of the class. One thing that is important, that regardless of the channel of communication that we use, it really is all about the message. So in this course in particular, we'll be focused on messages that are important not only to us but also important to the audience. So how do we bridge that kind of gap between what we know and what we'd like to share, as well as what's important for someone else to learn? So our focus will be receiver oriented, in addition to focusing on information that we believe is important to share. I know that speech anxiety is a real thing and that a lot of people are very uncomfortable speaking in front of others. And I think this cartoon kind of shows that message of, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to communicate with people. And that will happen. It'll also probably be ramped up a little bit as we're going to be using video and audio. So you're going to be hearing your voice and seeing your face differently. If that's something that is too much for you, that you really don't want to take on, then this section might not be right for you. We'll do some work on how to manage that anxiety, but I also just want to be upfront that I understand that it's a real thing, and I'll do my best to work with you to try and keep the nervousness to a minimum. So how do we get started? This course starts just right off the bat because we don't have a lot of time to get oriented. There's a 2-day start here kind of orientation where we'll do a short icebreaker so we can get to build community and see each other. We also are going to use that time to get right on with eText and the communication lab that we're using, which is called Launchpad. It's absolutely required that you purchase both of these products. They come as a package through the access that you can see as you get into Canvas. So please do that immediately. And from there, take a look at the technology requirements. If you have a basic understanding of how your computer works, I've made a list of kind of what you should double check to make sure you feel like you're on board. And from there, sign the class agreement if you feel like you're really in. And from that point, jump into Module 1. So I really look forward to working with you this semester. And if there's anything that I can do as we go through the course together, please let me know. Look forward to seeing you on our activity.